Hello, everyone. I heard you wanted to learn how to sell Pokemon cards at a card show table. Today, we're going to be talking about different things you can sell, different ways you can display things, and other tips and tricks on how you can sell and get the most out of it. So, first, what can you sell? We will start with our single cards. I don't know how well I'll be able to see this. I'll blow it up if we need to in post production, but you can sell singles. This is a shelf that I have displayed. It has some card holders on it and is really nice for displaying different types of cards. But moving forward, you can also sell sealed cards. You have your Pokemon branded ones, such as your ETBs and your booster bundles. But you also have your third party stuff, such as this Power Pack. I believe it's Series 3 from GameStop. You also have other things like your graded slabs. Slabs are a great way to sell and actually be able to follow quite well because you don't also need to worry about condition of your cards. And finally, you can sell things such as bulk. Your bulk cards tend to sell for the least amount, but it can also be something that helps drive people to your table if they're looking to complete things such as master sets. So moving past how you sell to how can you display what you sell? Well, first off, you want to know, of course, what you're selling. I mean, if it's just a random table, you probably don't need anything super crazy if you're just selling sealed, for example. But if you're selling more expensive things or you're selling, well, a lot of things, you probably want to have a few of these things on hand. First, this is literally just a shadow box. I am just getting into it. I've had some experience with selling and actually just sold this past weekend. But you can get one of these display boxes from like Hobby Lobby or something like that, and you can use them in place of the giant like stainless steel ones that people have. If you're just starting out selling, which is probably why you clicked on this video, you don't need the super expensive things. Next, it's usually nice to have different types of binders. Now, this is a really nice one because it is a top loader binder. It allows me to put full top loaders in there and keep my sleeved cards safe. This is also another way you can do it. And this is moving a little bit into just how you set up your table, but these are regular binders. However, they are for playable cards. These cards are usable in the Pokemon actual trading card game, which is crazy. There's a game attached to this. I mean, everybody says trading card game, but I like collecting the cool looking cardboard square or rectangles. But then you also can have things such as shelves. You have a lot to display. Why not kind of stadium seat them up so you can see everything as people walk by? You also have different things such as whiteboards that can say what you're selling. That way you don't need to be like, hey, welcome to the table. I am selling singles, slabbed, sealed, and more. And by more, I also mean you can also sell different accessory things such as these bumpers or something like that. But you can also do something like this. This is a display from a going out of business, like Rite Aid. I bought this literally as they were liquidating everything. I got it for like $5. And it's really great to hang the different types of hangables. I'll get this Death and Rivals thing down. Ooh. But what's another way that you can do things and some tips and tricks when you're going into your cards? First tip and trick would be to, when you have your singles, I would usually have a sticky on it on the outside, not on the card itself, of course, that says the price that you want. Now, it is nice to haggle over price and things like that every single time, but it is one, harder to do, and two, if you have a lot of people come to your table because you have this cool setup, you have everything here, and people are like, wow, that's really cool. He has eye candy. He has a base set Charizard. He has a Pikachu Mario card or something like that. You want people to be able to haggle with you quickly. Be like, oh, your printed price says $100. Would you take 90 for it? And I can be like, well, maybe I could work down to like 92, 93-ish, and then you can work forward from there. That way you don't need to pull up your phone and look up like TCG Player or price charting every single time that you are selling something. It is also nice to have different types of binders laid out, like this is a $1 binder, this is a $5 binder, this is a $10 binder, and so on and so forth. It is also nice to have different display things. Now, I would recommend, I'm getting into payment solely because this is one of my displays, to have a display that has any type of e-payment that you have, say PayPal, Venmo, CashApp. Hell, I see some people take Bitcoin. I would recommend doing that. And I'm covering this up because this is my legitimate information. So I'm putting this back behind here. But it's also nice to have your brand name. Now, I sell cards under the name Optum TCG. So we have Optum right here. This is my logo. It also has a link tree that takes you to where I sell online as well as my Instagram. And I don't have a link to my YouTube just yet because I kind of switched away and pivoted to doing other things on my YouTube as well. Of course, this video will be there and helping people set up. So maybe we'll reattach it. But I also sell on eBay, I sell on Mercari, and I also sell on TCG Player. I just started that up, and I may have some videos in the future about how to do that and how to set up your account and have it work good for you. So moving on, like what are some other tips and tricks? A tip and trick that I think is very, 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 did I say very, very important is to not just sell one thing. Now, don't get me wrong, it's nice when somebody has a table that has all PSA 10s or somebody that has a table that has all raw single cards or something like that. But you kind of exclude people from being able to buy from you. If you only have PSA 10s, how are you going to have, say, the family that just showed up with their kids that are like, oh, yeah, we'll just look around and buy something that looks cool at the, say, the mall or the local, like, expo center or the local, like, community center or something like that. If somebody's just there casually, you're going to be blocking people out of the market from buying from you. So I'd recommend having a mix of things. Like I have some things in here that are down to like $3 just because my table is so small and why it's good to have something like this. I can't put out some things. I have an entire like box of cards that I would sell for $1 instead of like a binder or a portfolio. Some people call these portfolios, which I find kind of weird. I have just a box. It's like, oh, these are $1, these are $5 or something like that. You want to have kind of a mix. And one thing that is really important about selling things, most people probably don't say this out loud, but they feel it in their soul, is if you are only selling sealed, most people will think you're a scalper. And that makes things hard to do. Now, some people will try to sell these, and you can have a few hanging up here. And I'll be honest with you, the hanging ones really don't tend to sell that well because you can't get that much before people are like, oh, that's scalper prices. But I have a fun story for that we can share in a few seconds. But if you're just selling sealed, people are going to look at you in the same way as somebody that like robbed their kids a chance at like, I don't know, back in the day when they used to have Black Friday and people would like rummage things off the shelf and be like, the parents will look at you. It's like, you just took my kid's chance of having the new Call of Duty for like Christmas or something like that. But I was one time selling, it was actually my first show ever. I had a paper laid out that had my prices on it and everything. I was selling Journey Together packs of these single sleeve boosters. I was selling it for 50 cents over what they sell it anywhere else. I had it for $5.50, and hell, some places sell them for $6 now. I had it for $5.50, which literally barely accounts for tax and the fact that I had to drive to the store. I had a guy walk up to me and be like, those are some damn scalper prices. I'm like, what do you mean they're scalper prices? It's 50 cents over. I literally drove to the store and came home. And then I drove to the card show. And it literally cost me more to get these than on what I'm going to make on them. So if you're trying to sell these in the future, I would highly recommend against it, unless they are the older ones, such as like Sun and Moon or Sword and Shield era. Of course, everybody loves Team Up nowadays from Sun and Moon, and everybody hated Team Up back then. So I digress on that point. But another thing that's kind of nice is, for example, you can have different kind of gimmicks at your table. I have a spinning wheel sometimes. I do not sell like chances at the spin. I think that's a little scummy sometimes. But I have it if somebody follows me on my Instagram, they can spin the wheel and they can win anything from a certain percentage off of their deal. They can win a free, say, Pokemon card. It's like usually a lower cost one, such as an EX card or a Pokemon coin. Or sometimes I give out the Japanese packs. Now, also another thing that's really nice to have would be one of these like Walmart totes. I don't know if I want to pick it up. I can pick it up though. The Walmart totes. Preferably one that has the ability to lock it, just because if you want to leave your stuff overnight, some places allow you to do that. Some places don't allow you to do that. But regardless, you want to lock your stuff, even when you're there, just in case there's any like crawling around kids that get under the table and like start messing with your stuff. But it's able to be used to first carry stuff in. Like, I don't want to carry in a shelf like this just with a hand, and this with a hand, and this with a hand. And I have to make like 30 trips, but I can obviously pack it in there. I can put my other sealed products. Say I have like 5 of these Black Bolt ETBs. I don't want to just, have all 5 stacked up right here for the scalper issue that I mentioned. And it's also harder to keep track of things. If you have something that's way too busy, then it's hard to kind of deal with all the things. And next, it's nice to have something behind your table to help display with you. Say, for example, this for hanging, or say even a small little table you bring with you, because when you go to a card show, you are pretty limited in your space unless you pay for an additional table. And even then, some people, because they have a lot of inventory, are limited by their space. So it's nice to have kind of like a cheat back or a cheat behind the table that allows you to display more things to attract more customers. Like I said, you want to stay on top of things. You may have this amazing table set up, but if you can't keep up with things, there's no point in having an amazing table set up, because people don't want to stand at your table for 5-10 minutes to be able to have the honor of talking to you and maybe do a deal with you. Which is why I would also recommend having 2 people with you if you are doing one of these. If you can't do that, it's completely workable. However, I feel that having 2 makes life a lot easier. You can have one person take over and you go run to the bathroom, literally walk around and wheel and deal. I mean, it's nice. You're at a card show for a reason. You're not just there to sell. Most of the time, you're there to bring in new inventory as well. But also, you can have 2 people doing deals at the same time. And so if you have something that's super attractive, like you have your eye candy, you have your base set Charizard or whatever. This is not a base set Charizard, but it is a Charizard nonetheless. So you can have those people help you during that. For example, I had a friend at a card show that I was at yesterday. He was like, "Hey Mason, can you jump behind the table real quick and sell some stuff for me real quick? I literally need to go to the restroom and get some food, and I need to go talk to this guy real quick. It's gonna be like 10 minutes." I'm like, "Sure, I'm good friends with this guy." So I was like, "Yeah, I'll help you out." I made some sales when he was gone, and I I've done this before, so I know how it works. But what was really nice is, like I said before, about actually having the labels on here, making things quicker. It also helps if you need someone else to take over. Say you have your girlfriend helping you with the table, and she knows nothing about Pokemon, or your boyfriend. I'm not going to mention anything more on that because I don't swing that way. But they can help you out, even if they're less knowledgeable. If there's something that has a number on it, and you tell them, "Hey, sell for what sticker price is," it's a lot easier to do than teaching them, say, for example, "Oh, you look it up on price charting, look it up on TCG Player, look it up on Collector," whatever method you use. It's a lot easier to just say sticker instead. So moving on from that, what are some other kind of tips and tricks? I would recommend bringing a few power banks. You're going to be there all day. And like I was just saying, you sometimes need to look up on prices. When you are trading things with people or trying to comp previous prices on things, if you're looking to buy, or if somebody tries to haggle with you on, say, this Charmander right here, which is going for about $300, then you can look at eBay's last solds. You can look at price charting to be able to kind of combat what they're saying. Like, "Oh, I'm going off the average of the last 10 sales." Or if it's in your favor, be like, "Hey, this is the last sale that happened like today, maybe a week ago," or something like that. And then another thing that is really nice to have and know is sometimes, this is just the chair that I'm using for this video, it's nice to bring a chair with you. Sometimes people don't give you chairs, and that's really annoying because where am I supposed to sit? The floor? Now, don't get me wrong. The only reason I'm sitting right now is because I'm at eye level with the camera. Most of the time when you are selling, you are standing, talking to people. It's one, a show of respect, and 2, allows you to move around and do things a lot quicker. Say, for example, I try to reach this binder down over here. I knock this, which knocks that, and everything falls over. My first show was a shit show because I always knocked over the things on the shelves. So, in conclusion, There's a lot to do. And there are some things that you should sell and shouldn't sell. Like, I wouldn't recommend selling these small packs. People just tend to not buy them. There are certain different pricing, like methods, I guess you could say, of where you look up your prices, how you do your prices, and different kind of marketing things, which I could get into in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know, because I have fun talking about this. I have kind of a background in marketing. I have some certifications and stuff, but I do this for fun. I find it fun to learn how to sell things better. And of course, it is nice to make a little bit of money on the side. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you come back in the future.